Coucou. Est-ce qu'il y a du monde? Bon, est-ce qu'on va finir cette enquête, les petits loups? Bon, normalement, dans les jours qui viennent, il devrait peut-être avoir du... Enfin, il devrait avoir du jeu de zombies sur PlayStation avec mon petit Sampou.
Which way should we go, Holmes?
There ought to be some clues here. Let's take a look around. I saw this symbol in the tunnels underneath the Frigidarium. I saw this symbol in the tunnels underneath the Frigidarium. I saw this symbol in the tunnels underneath the Frigidarium. I saw this symbol in the tunnels underneath the Frigidarium. I saw this symbol in the tunnels underneath the Frigidarium.
On passe par l'épée. Ah bien où cela nous mène. Alors l'épée rejoint... Ok. Moi je viens de l'espèce de clé. On va prendre la couronne. Table des pierres. Ok, cool. Ouais, mais il y a trop d'espace là. de là que je viens, non? C'est une espèce de labyrinthe, cette merde. La moitié est perdue dans ce tunnel. T'as 2 secondes. Enfin, on a trouvé.
Are we inside the hidden temple of Mithras, Holmes? Look,
Poignard d'or.
it's the golden knife. But how to get it? This lamp is not old. The oil is still fresh. Perhaps Sir Rodney passed by here.
No, I do not think so. Remember, he went no further than the catacomb underneath the Frigidarium. The murderer left this lamp.
Je parle pas trop, je me concentre. Hein.
Watson, I need your help.
Bon, on a ouvert la porte, mais c'est bien beau, mais... Pour l'instant, je peux pas y aller. Ah, ok. Donc logiquement... Là, cliquer le truc, allez.
The golden knife of Mithras. A long-lost relic has resurfaced. Watson, it is time to conclude this case.
Les cellules,
Excellent.
45 minutes sans
We should
passer.
find another way of getting out of here.
Oh, oh yes. C'est beau ça. des conclusions, de toute façon, il y en a 6, je crois. Ah bah j'en ai déjà fait une. Voilà. Donc il y a Picking, il y a Garou et l'autre il s'appelle... Je sais plus comment il s'appelle l'autre. Ah, Wickton arme de glace et vapeur pour faire croire que c'est une arme d'argent alors que c'est une arme d'eau qui l'a tué. Voilà, donc normalement Pickwind, Garou et Brimstorm, normalement c'est bon. Ok, bah je m'en fous en fait, il faut que je puisse sortir de là. Non, c'est la porte d'avant que je vais déverrouiller. Comment on fait? C'est celle-là, non?
This mechanism seems inactive. Most likely the door it controls has already been opened.
Ouais, non, d'accord, faut d'abord faire sortir... Watson. C'est bizarre parce que... Où est-ce que... Celle-là, non? pas tout à fait ce qu'il faut. Ça me gonfle un peu. Et non, c'est pas celle-là la porte que je veux. Non, c'est pas celui-là non plus. Ah bah elle est pas ouverte la porte là-haut, hein. Ça me fait chier. Hein. Putain. Ça ira pas maintenant, il est toujours enfermé lui.
This mechanism seems inactive.
Ah, d'accord, ok. En fait, c'est plus simple que qu'on ne le pense, quoi. Enfin, on est sorti de cette merde. On va tous les faire accuser du coup. Voilà. Donc voilà. Donc on va commencer conclusion. Voilà. On va mettre celle-là, on va la jouer, puis on va la jouer chacun et tout. Voilà, on va jouer toutes les fins, donc je vous laisse avec toutes les fins, et puis voilà. À toutes!
Why did you bring me here? I saw that you released the others.
Sir Gregory, I would ask that you listen carefully to what I'm intending to reveal to Inspector Lestrade. You murdered Sir Rodney Bentcliffe in cold blood, and you did it for money.
What? No, that's not true.
I am afraid that it is. The ingenious ghost weapon that you used only served to prove the premeditation.
You're insane.
It was a spectacular felony, one that intrigued the police and encouraged the press. Scandal is an excellent means of bringing the public's attention to your baths. And eventually, of course, it brought me too.
You have it all wrong.
Well, I didn't expect you to possess much in the way of courage. May you be a fraction more inspired before you meet the hangman. Farewell, Sir Gregory.
Elle met dans le même, elle met dans le même perso, mais avec l'arme de glace, je crois que c'est l'arme de pierre qu'on a fait, non? Ah non, on a fait la glace, pardon. Bon, on va faire l'arme d'argent maintenant. Voilà.
Why did you bring me here? I saw that you released the others.
Sir Gregory, I would ask that you listen carefully to what I'm intending to reveal to Inspector Lestrade. You murdered Sir Rodney Bentcliffe in cold blood, and you did it for money.
What? No, that's not true.
I am afraid that it is. The ingenious ghost weapon that you used only served to prove the premeditation.
You're insane.
It was a spectacular felony, one that intrigued the police and encouraged the press. Scandal is an excellent means of bringing the public's attention to your baths. And eventually, of course, it brought me too.
You have it all wrong.
Well, I didn't expect you to possess much in the way of courage. May you be a fraction more inspired before you meet the hangman. Farewell, Sir Gregory.
Allez, maintenant, bon, je connais la fin, hein. Je sais que c'est qui a fait le coup, comme je le répète, j'ai déjà fait le jeu. Donc on va passer à un autre, voilà. Je ne vais pas dire qui c'est, on le fera à la fin. Enfin...
Mr. Garrow, the game is up. I see straight through you.
You see straight... What?
You have a decided talent in mind manipulation. We all believed your comedy. The medication almost tricked me, I'll admit, but all of it was fake. the hallucinations, the hysteria. Mr. Garrow, you are a dangerous psychopath and a clever murderer. The method by which you disposed of the crime weapon...
Oh my god! I killed him!
It is no use to deny it. I despise cowardice in any form.
What will you do with me?
You will be sent to a medical institute, where you will receive the best treatment to facilitate your full rehabilitation.
What the good Dr. Watson is trying to say is, life seclusion in a lunatic asylum awaits you.
I would rather be dead!
That is your choice.
On continue les fins. On va faire arme d'agent, on va faire arme des glaces avec lui. C'est pas lui le meurtrier. Comme il y en a 3, j'en ai déjà fait 2. Vous comprenez qui c'est le meurtrier, quoi. Mais arme d'argent ou arme de glace? Mais non. Quoi, mon petit Sampou? Alors, B4B sur PS5? Oh bah nickel, bah tant mieux alors, si ça te plaît.
Mr. Garrow, the game is up. I see straight through you.
You see straight... What?
You have a decided talent in mind manipulation. We all believed your comedy. The medication almost tricked me, I'll admit, but all of it was fake. The hallucinations, the hysteria. Mr. Garrow, you are a dangerous psychopath and a clever murderer. The method by which you disposed of the crime weapon...
Oh my god! I killed him!
It is no use to deny it. I despise cowardice in any form.
What will you do with me?
You will be sent to a medical institute, where you will receive the best treatment to facilitate your full rehabilitation.
What the good Dr. Watson is trying to say is, life seclusion in a lunatic asylum awaits you.
I would rather be dead!
That is your choice.
Bon, attends bien ma couille. Bon allez, on va faire le meurtrier, mais arme d'argent ou arme de glace? On va faire la fausse. Alors, arme de glace ou arme d'argent? Bah non, il l'a fait avec l'arme de glace, pas arme d'argent. Allez, à toutes.
I'm feeling rather uncomfortable. Why have I been put into these cuffs?
I fear that you had better get used to them, Mr. Blinkhorn. They are your reward for the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe.
What? No, that's a lie.
It is regrettable, for you are a talented archaeologist. I will request that you are placed in a prison where you are unable to dig an escape tunnel. That is, of course, if they decide that you shall live.
You...
The consulting detective who salutes your intelligence in performing the perfect crime, yes, but also the gentleman who detests your motivation.
You know nothing.
You wish to be the one who would reveal this to the world.
Is that the golden knife? How...
I also like to dig, you see. I only followed your trail. Such a pity that there is always someone willing to steal your credit, wouldn't you say? And there was the chance of a lifetime. You had to take it. It was not to be shared.
It...
But now I am here, and there is no one who will stop the tread of justice, Mr. Blinkhorn. Goodbye.
Bon allez, on va faire la bonne fin, donc c'est le même, mais par contre c'est arme... arme de glace. On va condamner forcément. Adulte.
I'm feeling rather uncomfortable. Why have I been put into these cuffs?
I fear that you had better get used to them, Mr. Blinkhorn. They are your reward for the murder of Sir Rodney Bentcliffe.
What? No, that's a lie.
It is regrettable, for you are a talented archaeologist. I will request that you are placed in a prison where you are unable to dig an escape tunnel. That is, of course, if they decide that you shall live.
You...
The consulting detective who salutes your intelligence in performing the perfect crime, yes, but also the gentleman who detests your motivation.
You know nothing.
You wish to be the one who would reveal this to the world.
Is that the golden knife? How...
I also like to dig, you see. I only followed your trail. Such a pity that there is always someone willing to steal your credit, wouldn't you say? And there was the chance of a lifetime. You had to take it. It was not to be shared.
It...
But now I am here, and there is no one who will stop the tread of justice, Mr. Blinkhorn. Goodbye.
On va aller voir tout ça. Normalement c'est bon, je dis bien normalement. Voilà. Bon, voilà, on va classer l'affaire, hein, tous les indices et on a trouvé, ok. Sang et glace. Lecteur omnivore, lire 3... Bah non, j'ai pas lu 3 messages, j'en ai lu que 2.
The game is afoot, not a word. Into your clothes and come. I'll wait for you in the sitting room. I've just received a note from Inspector Lestrade, a letter from the suburbs. He is in need of my presence. Whenever he has asked for my assistance, it has always turned out to be entirely justified. I fancy that every one of his cases has found its way into your collection.
Yes, they all seem worthy of...
However, I regret your fatal habit of looking at everything from the point of view of a story instead of a scientific exercise.
Oh, Holmes, you...
I beg your pardon, I digress. It would be much better to examine this letter than to try to convince you.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
Bien parler à Toby à chaque fois.
I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hudson's cold cuts.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should...
L'alcool sale, en haute société, nos essais patriotes, bénéfices, le crime est lié au terme archéologue, mais Bichocamp reste encore si erroné à succomber aux mains de personnes exos, anciens amis associés, ne mérite que la peine de mort.
The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look. The letter is on the table, Holmes. You should take a look.
My analysis table. It is useful for my work. I can... A wax seal with the monogram EB. The Brackenstall family coat of arms.
Cher administrateur d'avoir votre concours immédiat parce qu'il va y avoir une affaire. Ok, bon, on va aller à l'abbaye.
So, what is it, Holmes?
Promising, as always. It appears to be a case of murder.
So you believe that Sir Eustace is dead?
I should say so. Lestrade wouldn't have sent for me for less. His writing shows considerable agitation, and he is not an emotional man. These people belong to high society. The quality of the writing paper, the EB monogram, their coat of arms. The crime was committed before midnight.
Holmes, how can you possibly tell?
Well, it is all thanks to Lestrade. He wrote his letter at 3:30 in the morning. Imagine the chain of events before that. The local police had to be called in. Scotland Yard was notified. Lestrade himself had to make haste there, and finally compose the letter he sent to me. All of that makes for a fair night's work.
It makes sense. Lestrade also speaks of the woman he released.
That seems to indicate that she had been held somewhere during the crime. Much time has been wasted. Let us find a cab and go to Abbey Grange immediately. I live in hope of an interesting morning.
Ah, Mr. Holmes and Dr. Watson, here you are. I'm very glad that you have come, but perhaps I should not have troubled you after all.
And why is that?
Lady Brackenstall has come to her senses, and she has given so clear an account of the affair that there is not much left for us to do. You remember that Lewisham gang of burglars?
What, the three Randalls?
Exactly. The father and two sons. It's their work. They stole a silver service, which is of great value.
Sir Eustace Brackenstall is dead, then?
Yes. His head was knocked in with his own poker.
A violent act of aggression.
Yes, the poor lady. She has had a most dreadful experience. She was assaulted and tied to a chair. But I think that you would best see her and hear her account of the facts. She's in the morning room with her maid, Teresa Wright.
Where is the body of the deceased?
In the dining room. We haven't touched anything.
All right, I'm going to examine it.
Very good, Watson.
Alors,
Lady...
Lord Ramsay Brackenstall.
Lady Bracken...
Baron Lyndon Brackenstall. Sir Warthen
Oh, c'est lui
Brackenstall.
qui est mort alors.
Lord George Brackenstall.
Oh, il y a du monde, hein.
Ladies, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I'm assisting Inspector Lestrade in this investigation.
Mr. Holmes, I am the wife of Sir Eustace Brackenstall. We were married only a year ago.
I am sorry for your loss. Please accept my deepest condolences.
I suppose that it is no use my attempting to conceal that our marriage has not been a happy one. I fear that all would tell you that, even if I were to attempt to deny it.
C'est un sacré bar noir sans pouce, toi qui lui as fait, non? La Sampou, tu l'as fait un espèce d'œil au beurre noir.
Can you describe to me the events of yesterday evening?
Is it really necessary? I have already told Inspector Lestrade all that happened.
Yes, madam, it is.
I will tell you then. Sir Eustace retired about 10:30. I sat in this room until after 11, absorbed in a book. Before I went upstairs, I entered the dining room to fetch a candle and... oh God.
Please, go on.
As I approached the French window, I found myself face to face with an elderly, broad-shouldered man who had just stepped into the room. Close behind the first man,
Je voulais
I saw
pas.
two
Il est
others.
con celui-là.
One of them struck me a savage
toujours
blow
à
with his
B4B?
fist and felled me unconscious to the ground.
And then?
When I came to myself, I found that they had secured me tightly to a dining room chair. It was at that instant my unfortunate husband entered the room.
He fought with the intruders?
Yes, I think he had fought them, for he was holding his stick. But they were three, and he eventually succumbed. One of them, the elder one, struck him a terrible blow with the poker. I fainted once more. When I opened my eyes, they had withdrawn. Then my brave Teresa came to my assistance.
Ah mais ton collègue fait pas faire de club pro, ton collègue? Non? Ah, je sais
You
pas parce que
mentioned
bon.
that your marriage was not a happy one.
Je pense que tes collègues ils
Was
répondent
there
pas à
anything
FIFA.
specific that was troubling you?
He was not a nice man when he was drunk, and he suffered from dark moods, but nothing else.
The bruises on your hands are at least 1 week old. Your husband caused those bruises?
Oh, do you? Yes, he did. He was
Ah parce
very
que bon, faut
angry
trouver
at
du
the
monde
time,
pour le club pro
out
quoi.
of control.
Mais bon, des gens qui jouent en passe quoi. Pas
Sir
qui foncent
Eustace
comme
was
des
a
glands quoi.
drunkard. To be tied to such a man for life is worse than death.
Did these three villains steal anything?
Yes, I found that they had taken the silver from the sideboard, but you can see for yourself in the dining room.
Your ladyship?
Teresa.
Teresa, I would like to hear your testimony.
Certainly, sir.
Ah vous Teresa, c'est toi qui l'a tué. Hein. Je déconne. Non. Une travailleuse, tâche de café. Mouchoir, odeur de vinaigre, réanimation. Ok, bon. Oh, Randy Comic, merci pour le raid.
As I sat by my bedroom window, I saw three men in the moonlight down by the lodge gate. But I thought nothing of it at the time. If
Oh,
I'd
merde.
known,
And then?
Ah, désolé, Captain Jérém.
and it was more than an hour after that I heard my mistress scream. And down I ran to find her tied to the chair and him on the floor with
Merci,
his head
Randy.
smashed. That's all I know.
Pour le raid. Bon, t'as
My
plus rien à me
mistress
dire?
is very tired. Can't you to allow her to her room?
The description of the Randall gang provided by Lady Brackenstall is identical to the one in the Times article. These scratches are most definitely made by the picture frame. This is Sir Eustace's safe. There may be something important inside. I must ask Lady Brackenstall to open it.
Je vais manger dodo, taf de nuit. Ah bah, travaille bien.
Lady Brackenstall, could you open
Travaille
this
bien.
wall safe?
Pas de souci.
No, it is my husband's safe. I do not know the combination.
We have to open it. Your ladyship? Let us try to open this safe.
Mais j'ai jamais fait
This
coffre-fort,
safe
moi.
can be cracked. I only have to pay attention. The dial will vibrate when it is set to the correct number.
Ok. Je suis pas un voleur de coffre-fort, moi. Hein. Oh. C'est beau, ça. Ta physique et mentale ne laisse pas de m'inquiéter. Bah ouais, mais arrête de boire aussi.
It is common practice to keep one's valuables in a safe behind a painting. It should not really pose a challenge for a criminal. Antique coins, possibly of value, but they're scattered without care.
Ok. On a demandé ça. Ok.
Oh, what a horrible thing to have.
Sir Eustace's doctor speaks of his violent behavior.
Yes,
Ouais,
Sir
j'ai
Eustace was an
gagné, puis on s'en
extremely
fout, mais non,
violent
je suis pas
man.
pour le payer.
A detestable human being, to be more precise. It is true that he once threw a decanter at me, and all because I dared to stand up to him in defence of my mistress. Sly devil. God forgive me that I should speak of him so now that he's dead. But a devil he was, if ever one walked the earth. We met him only 18 months ago. She'd only just arrived in London. Yes, it was her first voyage. She'd never been from home before. One with his title and his money and his false London ways. If she made a mistake, she has paid for it, if ever a woman did. She doesn't have any friends here, so it was especially hard for her.
Oh, what a
Merci à
horrible
Randy
thing to
pour
have
son,
happened.
pour son raid. Ça fait super plaisir.
What do you know about Sir Eustace, Inspector? What was his reputation?
A charming man when sober, but an absolute demon when he was drunk. Such moments he was apparently capable of anything. Why, once he splashed fuel on Lady Brackenstall's dog and set it alight. Another day he threw a decanter of wine at Miss Wright's head.
The alcohol seemed to madden him.
To the point that we were forced to intervene several times to avoid a scandal. The body is still in the dining room where the murder took place.
You should examine the body of Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
So, Watson, what have you learned from examining Sir Eustace's body?
Well, I can confirm that the death was instant. Sir Eustace was facing his attacker when he received the blow to his head. There are no other apparent injuries.
The head
Ah
was
ouais,
cracked with the
un
force of the
tisonnier.
blow. That must be the murder weapon. Quite a large stick, a formidable weapon. Barefoot, he had therefore been in bed and did not have time to fully dress. It is covered in blood. Sir Eustace might have struck his head upon it while falling from the blow. That is one possible explanation.
Ouais, on va dire que oui pour l'accident, mais non.
It appears that the bell rope was cut by someone taller than me.
The death was...
A fur trader's cabin. The hunt. These wine bottles are expensive and mostly from France. An empty silverware box. It appears that the intruders have stolen the contents. This candlestick is valuable. It is interesting that it was not also stolen. A bottle of wine is missing here. The criminals did not thoroughly ransack the house. They only took a little silverware. Sailor's knots. That's interesting. This rope was handled by the murderers. We need a scent hound to follow their trail. I will take it with me. This is the chair that Lady Brackenstall was tied to. This door leads to the upstairs bedrooms. Apparently the criminals did not venture there.
Allez, 2 secondes.
Come on, Toby. We need the best nose in the British Empire on this case. I agree with you, Toby, that Watson's shoe is preferable to Mrs. Hud. Let us see how the rope was cut. The fibers at the end of the rope are smoothly cut. Let us try to find out what tool was used to cut the rope. The fibers from this cut appear to be different. The fibers from this cut appear to be different. If I cut the rope with a knife, it matches the original. My analysis table. It is useful. I agree with you, Toby, that what's...
Comment je fais pour récupérer Toby, moi?
Someone should take Toby for a walk.
I agree with... Search, Toby.
Cannabis.
The intruders entered the shed for some reason when they were making off with the silverware. The scent leads to the well. I should check it. The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall. The criminals left the house through the French window. They walked to the shed, then across to the well, before fleeing by climbing over the wall. I wonder why they chose such a winding route. This hook might be useful. Small gardening tools, nothing of great interest. This old suitcase sounds hollow. It must be empty. bags of seed. Some empty bags were recently moved.
Après, ils sont allés au puits. Ok.
There's something glittering at the bottom there, but how can I reach it?
Ça, c'est l'argenterie, non?
Silverware. This is hardly a coincidence. The Brackenstall coat of arms. It appears that we have found the stolen silverware. The intruder's trail is lost behind this wall.
Ok, bon. On va faire un peu plus. Il y a toujours cet indice à la con là.
Inspector, I have recovered the stolen silverware.
You are a wizard, Mr. Holmes. And where is it?
In the garden well.
Excuse me?
Unique, isn't it?
Rather absurd. What is the point of stealing silverware and then throwing it down into a well?
Perhaps it was used as a temporary hiding place, or simply the thieves wanted to get rid of it. It is up to us to solve this mystery.
Alors,
Holmes, don't look at me like that. I don't know what to think about all this.
pour la lady.
We found
Attendez,
your
nous, le
silverware,
shampoo pour
Lady
FIFA.
Brackenstall. It had not been taken very far.
Is that true? I am very thankful to you, Mr. Holmes.
Your ladyship?
Alors, on va parler à Madame Teresa.
We found your mistress's silverware.
Oh, that's good news. You really are as clever as they say.
Indeed.
Bon, j'ai pas tout fouillé ici apparemment. La petite table.
This photograph of Lady Brackenstall and her maid Teresa was taken at a port, but which one? So the lady and her maid came from Australia a year and a half ago on this ship.
Inspecter la pièce achevée, ça c'est fait. Sauf que je crois que j'ai pas fini la scène. Ouais. J'ai pas fini d'analyser.
The hunting scene. A hunter's cabin. A fur trader's cabin. A hunter scene. A fur trader's cabin. A decanter standing next to the open bottle. An inseparable pair indeed. Chateau Calon-Ségur, French wine, Grand Cru. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. There is beeswing at the bottom, as if the wine had not been decanted before being poured. This glass has some wine traces, but no visible beeswing. It is rather strange that only one of these glasses has dregs of beeswing inside it, while the other two are clear.
Voilà, salle à manger achevée. Ça c'est fait. Voilà, donc il y a accident conjugal. Ouais, ok. Quel indice disponible pour l'instant? Ah, c'est qu'il reste des indices alors. Les Randall sont coupables. Il doit y avoir autre chose, j'ai pas tous les indices de toute façon, donc... Chercher un marin. Consulter les archives. Je vais d'abord demander les verres de vin et je vais voir les archives.
Holmes, don't look at me like that.
There are 3 glasses on the dining room table. I was wondering if...
Oh, I forgot. When I came to myself the first time, each of them had a glass in his hand. They might have been a father and his 2 sons. They talked together in whispers, and then they left.
Your ladyship?
Please leave my
C'est pas les
Mary
Randall,
alone.
il me semble que c'est le marin qu'on cherche, il me semble. Je crois bien que c'est ça. Il me semble, hein, je crois. De 6 mois en Nouvelle-Zélande, navire en Angleterre, propriétaire.
Here it is. The shipping company, the Adelaide, Southampton, London line, and its address. Interesting. It must be the place where they keep the records, including the one for the crew of the Rock of Gibraltar.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard, they'll give it to you without any problems.
But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
Ouais.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
I need a register, my young friend. If you could borrow it, there will be half a guinea for every one of you. I need the crew list of the Rock of Gibraltar in 1893 and their current employment.
I'm straight on it, Mr. Holmes.
Do you really think they'll find it, Holmes?
My secret police is better than the Yard in many ways.
Here it is, Mr. Holmes. But we can't take it back. It's too risky.
Put it on the table. I'll take care of it. Good work, young Wiggins.
Beau travail, jeune Wiggins.
I left it right on the table for you, sir.
This list shows the senior officers of the Rock of Gibraltar, on which Lady Brackenstall and her maid made their voyage. Lady Brackenstall does not know anyone in England. This must mean that someone on this list is our mysterious visitor. And these are the lists of the senior officers of the Adelaide, Southampton, London Line ships. Let us find out who was in London upon November the 7th. I do not think that this sailor has any connection to the case. This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Archibald, non. James. Non. Henri, oui.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved.
Agi, non. Nathan. Non. Samuel, non.
This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime.
Robert. Charles.
I do not think that
Ah,
this
mais non.
sailor has any connection. This officer was on a ship that sailed half a month ago. He wasn't in London at the time of the crime. Mr. Jack Crocker was in London upon the date of the crime, and he is due to depart in 2 days.
Thomas et Herbert. Sur la dernière page alors.
This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. This officer is still at sea, therefore he cannot be involved. Captain Jack Crocker is our mysterious visitor. He was the only one around at the time of the murder.
This Crocker, do you think...
It would be interesting to meet him. Our young friend should be able to find him. Wiggins, could you find a way to bring this Captain Crocker here to us?
Here? Holmes, that could be dangerous.
No problem, Mr. Holmes.
Voyons voir Crocker alors.
Mr. Holmes, I was informed that you were looking for me, and I'd like to know why.
Yes, it is important that we talk. You will soon understand why.
Non, les gens veulent. Large carrière. Ah, il a un couteau déjà, c'est ce qui explique couper la corde aussi. Déjà.
You are acquainted with Lady Mary Brackenstall, are you not?
Yes, I think I do remember her from when I was first officer, but I still don't see.
It seems your relationship went beyond that of mere passenger and first officer.
How dare you?
Indeed, how reckless a feeling is love, particularly if one is prepared to commit a murder in its name.
Explain yourself this instant.
You are aware that the murder made the headlines of the morning press. You read the newspaper report, but to your dismay, found it much fabricated. Once you learned that I wanted to see you, you came straight away. You needed to know what I had found.
You? And what do you know?
That evening, you were with Lady Brackenstall, despite the danger.
I'm not afraid, Mr. Holmes. Besides, all of this is just guesswork.
You would be right if there was no evidence.
What then?
Lady Brackenstall was tied to a chair on the night of the murder. And it was you who tied her up.
You call that evidence?
Yes, as she was tied with a sailor's knot. Your handiwork.
So, it's a sailor who's done it. That proves nothing, Mr. Holmes. I'm not the only sailor in London
C'est lui
right
qui a
now.
fait le coup, je le
The
sens mal.
theory is flawed anyway. On the night of the murder, I was aboard the Sharp. I was supervising the repair of a porthole.
At night.
It was an emergency. There was a leak. You can ask the ship's carpenter. He can confirm.
I'm sure that he can.
Perfect. In that case, we have nothing more to talk about. Good evening, gentlemen.
Holmes, what should we do now? Would you like to check his alibi?
No, there is no doubt that these men will testify in his favor, and there will be no way to check.
So, what then?
So, we must work with what we have. We have all the puzzle pieces.
Now I understand.
Trouver, ça a utilisé tous les indices de l'enquête. Ah, c'est beau ça. Normalement, il n'y a que ça comme conclusion. Du coup, on va essayer de... Normalement, il n'y en a que 3 normalement, on verra bien. Je vais essayer de toutes les jouer, puis on verra ce que ça donne à la fin.
Oui, mais elle n'en savait rien. Du coup, la vieille hic refuse de me payer et elle me réclame des réponses. Je vous en prie, essayez de ne pas me compliquer la vie et laissez-moi en paix. J'irai chercher la voiture si je peux, avant qu'on retrouve l'arsenal dans le coffre.
On va tenter, on verra. Je vous laisse avec les fins et puis à tout de suite.
I have reached my conclusion, Lestrade. I regret that your culprits are in the next room.
Lady Brackenstall and her maid?
Yes, and their mise en scene after the death of Sir Eustace can only point to premeditation.
That's terrible. Follow me. I'm going to arrest them. Ladies, I must arrest you both for the murder of Sir Eustace.
What? But that's impossible. We are innocent. Madam.
You'll tell that to the judge. Come with me now.
You were making a serious mistake, Inspector. You too, Mr. Holmes, which is rather surprising of you.
Or rather, impossible.
c'est pas ça, condamné, non.
Well, Inspector, this case proved to be a simple one after all.
You think it's the Randall gang, then?
Yes.
I'll put my men on it straight away.
I'll leave that to you, Inspector. After all, you have handled this matter quite brilliantly.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Holmes. I do appreciate it.
Alors, changer d'avis, ok. Allez.
Wiggins, could you ask Mr. Crocker to come here again, please?
Right away.
Why did you make me come here again, Mr. Holmes?
It is over. I know that it was you who killed Sir Eustace Brackenstall.
What?
I know because of the height at which the rope was cut. The knife used was a sea knife. The knots were sailor's knots, and not least the sheer force that was put behind the killing blow. And because you are the only one who knows Lady Mary Brackenstall in London. And because you love her.
It's true.
It is time for you to tell us the whole truth.
I admit that I loved Mary madly from the first day that I met her. But I never did come to visit her, for I believed that she was in a happy household. When I talked to her maid, who told me everything, I was insane with rage. I was due to set sail for 6 months away. I wanted only to see her again. But it turned into a damnable nightmare when he barged in. He dared raise his hand to her. He was not even worthy of licking her boots. Oh, I regret nothing. I admit I killed the monster out of love for her. She will forgive me if she is able.
Lady Brackenstall already forgave you. She said nothing.
Mary.
But that makes her an accomplice as well as her maid. It places her in danger yet again.
Mr. Holmes.
You would not have managed to protect her.
Till I die, do you hear me? Here is a letter that sets everything clear, and it is the one that should be disclosed to the police. I am the only culprit. Mary had nothing to do with it. Now it is time to end this.
C'était moins une.
You should have let me die. How can I live if Mary suffers?
I am sorry, Captain Crocker, but there has been quite enough death in this case. Inspector, I give you Sir Eustace's killer. He tried his best to perform his own justice.
Well, I'm not surprised. Yes, it was me. I confess.
Here is a piece of evidence that can be used in court.
Perfect. A case that went smoothly for once.
Mais bon, on sait que c'est lui, il le dit normalement, voilà. Voilà, impeccable. Je vais aux toilettes, j'arrive. À tout de suite. désolé. Attendez 2 secondes. Chiant quand ça fait ça. Hop. Allez, on continue.
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
You have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, however did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
Ok, bon. Je vous informe en présence que la fête du manoir de l'abbaye qui a lieu il y a peu de 6 mois fut toujours remis. Que des romantiques à faire attirer. Non. Ah non. Mais non. Ouais, si.
Oh dear, Toby. I wasn't aware that you were Watson's new literary agent.
Je savais pas si on y retournait à Baker Street. Ah, pas répondre mon petit Sampou alors, ton collègue. Je commençais cette enquête et j'allais me coucher, je crois.
Well, Holmes, here we are at the Royal Botanic Gardens. There's no doubt that this place is beautiful. But are you really intent on investigating the theft of the plants?
Yes, of course.
Alors,
What are we doing?
là il y a un piège par contre sur celle-là, faut que je
Let
regarde
us
ce que c'est le
find
piège
someone
quand
who
même,
could
sinon
help
faut que
us.
je recommence tout le jeu, alors ça me fait chier.
Don't touch anything else, is that clear? Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without turning it over this time. Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and
fait
this
pas
is
de
my
club
friend
pro.
and
Putain,
colleague,
fait chier.
Dr. Watson.
C'est quand qu'on va essayer de
We
trouver
are
des gens qui jouent en
investigating
club pro
the
hein.
theft of
Chier.
plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favor.
Tu vas pas demander qui s'y mette non avec nous?
Do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. And that fellow yonder is Albert. He works here.
I
T'as
am
pas demandé
delighted
qui
to meet
l'essaye?
you. What can you tell us about the plants?
They were rare and exceptional plants. We presented them at our last exhibition. We haven't removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
No, but I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no guards here.
Well, if you don't mind, we will take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
Yes, the one just behind me. Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
Only myself, but occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were exhibited.
Thank you. Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and
Ah,
rare.
faut lui
but
demander qui s'y mette au
seems
club
to me
pro
that
avec
the
nous.
tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been
Et t'as
entirely
gagné ou pas ton
forgotten
match?
already.
What
Contre ton
tragedy
collègue?
are you referring to?
The director of Kew Gardens, Mr. Montague Dunn. He died here just 2 days ago.
We're very sorry. We were not aware. The two of you were good friends?
He was my father.
Oh dear. Our condolences. We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse us for the intrusion.
You say that he died here, in the large glass house?
Holmes?
Yes, just here, near the door to the Colonial Collection. He suffered a heart attack, just like that, so suddenly. It was terrible. Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here. If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's the room next to the front of the large greenhouse.
Of course, we understand.
Il y a combien de personnes du coup à les portraits sont où? Il y en a encore en cours 1, 2, 3, 4 et à la fin il y en aura 3. Ok.
The plants were here. All of them were stolen.
Do not touch.
Here is a list of the stolen plants.
Allez, 2 secondes. Hop, je fais ça sur le téléphone. Jamais. Hop, ah, ça c'est bon. Là. Hop, voilà.
According to Albert, this is where his father, Montague Dunn, was found dead. Soil. It should have come from a flower pot. The soil on the side of this flower shelf is the same as that on the ground. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. The ensconce was breached near the handle. The door was smashed at shoulder height. This door handle is new. It was recently changed. The door was forced from the inside of the Colonial Collection room. The handle was changed afterwards.
I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection.
This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced.
J'ai son pou level.
The traces are thinner in some places. These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here. Blood. This sign is broken. Something heavy was dropped upon it. Someone fell violently against this sign, and they were injured in the clash. Most likely a head wound. All the clues around here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination to make sense of it all. This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial Collection room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked. Was it an accident, or a murder then, I I think we need to inspect the colonial collection.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
C'est dommage, son
A
coup, il
duo
peut jouer entre le
here.
pro. T'as gagné ton match ou pas?
Yes,
Je sais pas si
but
tu m'écoutes,
part-time only.
mais.
I'm also
T'as gagné ton match
studying
ou pas?
botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then that is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Ah, il y a 4 personnes à rencontrer si je dis pas de bêtises.
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunn, the late director of Kew Gardens.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack was quite unexpected.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Locked. Colonial seed house. Ventilation system. Nursery. Farmhouse.
Allez, 2 secondes.
Locked. Would you unlock the doors for us?
Do you expect to find the stolen plants there? I am sorry, but those rooms are private.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Locked. Locked.
Pas répondu mon petit sampou.
Locked. Locked.
Oh, mais tout qui est fermé avec clé, comment tu veux mener une bonne enquête? Il me reste Miss machin et ça je sais pas qui c'est.
There is a smell of burning. The symbol is not from Kew Gardens. A door handle? Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the Colonial Collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material. A protective mask. Someone set it alight, but it did not burn. A broom handle was half burned. The remains of a picture frame. The plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned. Dry tropics. These flower pots are beautiful. They are intended to be used for the symbol is not from Kew Gardens. Very strange. Half of the Colonial Collection is absent. The smell is strong. It is a detergent.
T'es pas là, mon petit sampou?
This broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow. A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or sculpture.
Aïe.
These windows were perfectly cleaned. Part of this greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly cleaned.
plantes, liste des plantes.
Here it is.
Symbole, casier, point divin. Marqué symbole.
That is not the one I need. Here it is. The Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here. Here it is. I asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunn's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy then.
A beautiful...
Une lettre. J'ai mis la fiche rentrant exposition. Okay.
A membership card for the London Crest Club. This watch is of great value. First of all, let us carry out an external examination. There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy. There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse. The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal. The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma. No redness, stings, or bruises. Nothing suspicious here. Now, let us examine the internal organs. The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs. The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs. The lungs are congested and edematous. The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant. The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction. The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs. The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs. There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death. My suspicions have been substantiated. Montague Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning. Plant poisoning, to be more
Mort par une
exact.
plante.
You mean
Yes, it is murder.
we should inform Lestrade?
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No, we also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
Mais c'est pas le
And also
gardien.
Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No, a few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building. I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
Oula.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression. Great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say. He was a member of the London Smart
Là,
Set.
sans bout.
He was famous for it. That
C'est
and
là où tu fumes une clope.
And
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The Divine what? Is this a joke?
No, I am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was.
Oh yes, he forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who was such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here part-time. She is quite charming indeed. She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out in the laboratory. Ah, if only she were not so naive.
Why naive?
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague Dunn. And he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunn's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before. And now, all of a sudden, he's trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah, at the moment I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
Il sert à quoi son fils alors?
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens, and I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the Deputy Director?
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed? That is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honor of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. But my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Tell me, have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
Thank you, young man.
Ah, on a trouvé Miss.
Look, Holmes, this charming lady must be Miss White. She's entering the seed house.
A ventilation system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings. A ventilation system. Open.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants here.
Why, thank you, sir. And good day to you, too. But
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
Joe le taxi. Je sais pas ce qu'il a sans pou. Non, pas grave, t'inquiète. Non, je te disais, t'as gagné ton match ou pas?
Yes,
Sans pou.
a theft of plants that took place here a few days ago after their most recent exhibition.
Oh,
pour ça que je savoir
yes,
si tu as
of
gagné ton match.
course. I quite forgot about that.
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible
Au
misfortune.
moins. Et t'as pas essayé de... Il fait pas de club pro, mais t'as pas essayé de l'initier, non, au club pro? Il veut pas?
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No,
Il veut pas essayer?
I have never been there.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honor.
Ça n'intéresse pas, mais je perds pas courage. Ouais, mais bon, c'est bizarre, ça n'intéresse pas à plusieurs, ça peut être marrant. Tu l'as pas expliqué comment ça marchait un peu à plusieurs, que c'était marrant?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
Dommage qu'on n'arrive pas à trouver de monde, ça fait chier.
Oh yes,
Putain.
indeed. He was always so
Il est chaud
active
pour un
and
B4B.
so optimistic.
Ouais, mais bon, B4B, oui, mais bon, faut trouver du monde pour FIFA
Although
aussi. Il me fait
he
chier
could
ça aussi.
behave harshly
Je
towards
trouve
his
personne
son.
pour FIFA de toute façon.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Si, mais laissez avec nous, il est pas sûr d'aimer. Mais pourquoi il t'a expliqué, non, ce qu'il aimait pas dedans?
The
Enfin,
Divine
ce
Syndicate.
qu'il...
Does that
je sais
name
pas.
mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
Ah, bah après, il peut prendre le tout, après, s'il est à l'aise. S'il est à l'aise, il prend le tout, sans pou, hein. Tu te mets au milieu, je me mets devant, et puis basta, hein. On joue comme ça, sinon, hein. Il peut prendre le tout, hein. S'il est plus à l'aise.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked.
S'il est plus à l'aise,
Do
tu lui
you
dis
have
qu'il
a
prend le
key
tout, hein.
to this room?
Oh, yes.
Tu te mets au
Albert
milieu,
gave
je me
me
mets
a set of
devant, et puis
duplicate
basta.
keys. He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him.
Oui, c'est ce que je
It
discutais
is
avec
only
lui, d'accord.
temporary.
Thank you, miss. None of the 3 people who work at Kew Gardens know why half of the colonial collection was cleared. So, someone is lying. It is obvious.
Non, c'est pas ça que je voulais. De toute façon, je vais y aller. Là, je vais sur... D'accord. Ouais, je vais arrêter le live, faire une petite partie de B4B, mais hors live, vite fait en solo, et après j'irai me coucher. Je ferai juste le niveau suivant. Et basta. On sera plutôt demain soir le B4B ensemble. Ou alors demain soir on essaye FIFA alors. Faut voir, je sais pas si ton collègue est là demain soir. Mais c'est celui qui me disait ton boulanger, non? Ou c'est un autre?
It is a bus.
Là que d'accord. Ah.
I am curious if the marble that we found... Here it is. The marble fragment that we found in the Colonial Collection Room is what they have in common.
Allez, dégage, Watson. Putain, ça m'emmerde, ça aussi. Putain.
The seeds of plant species are stored here.
Oh, tu enverras un message, soit IVC, FIFA, soit... Après B4B avec la manette de PS5, j'ai vraiment du mal. Hein. Je vais faire de la merde. Je dis tout de suite.
These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery.
Jeune plante.
This poster is for an
Je vais essayer de
exhibition that
finir.
Martin Hamish was
Je
directing.
vais essayer de finir avant
But
le
it had
16
nothing
les
to
deux.
do with Kew Gardens.
Les deux.
This certificate belongs to Martin
Les deux
Hamish.
Sherlock Holmes du
He won a
3e le 16.
horticultural competition.
J'aimerais bien finir les deux avant quoi.
A thesis written. A glasses case. It is empty. This area serves as Martin Hamish's office.
De toute façon, il manque quelqu'un que j'ai pas rencontré de toute façon. Donc,
Locked. Locked.
A phonograph?
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory. I don't hear anything.
Martin Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered marginal, yet I remain convinced that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report.
Ah, il doit manquer une bande son, je pense, pour le phonographe.
Chemicals. A sufficient quantity for some serious experiments. A botany book. This student's book belongs to Albert. Gloves.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
It appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here. Such masks are generally
Trace de bouteille.
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory.
Gold dust.
Poussière d'or,
Good
bonté
heavens.
divine, que fait-elle
What's
là?
it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
Several drops of the bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose. Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it.
Ça me gonflait cette histoire. putain, sérieux, c'est une blague ça. Je suis sûr que ça va comme ça là. Ah. Compliqué lui quand même, hein.
Open. Albert's locker. Albert died.
Lettre de quoi?
A rejection
refus,
letter from the
Royal
British
Naval
Royal Naval College.
Collège.
A picture of Miss White and Albert in front of the University of London.
And they seem to get along.
Martin Hamish's locker. A review on rare and exotic plants.
Ok.
Martin Hamish has written several pieces.
On lit récemment. Ok. Bah, je lis pas tout parce que ça me gonfle sinon.
Father and I, Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish. Miss White's locker. These jewels.
Diplôme.
Apparently, Miss White is a capable student. A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
Encore une lettre. J'aimerais vraiment ne pas me lancer, je te assurer que je ne saurais vous laisser ainsi me posture. Moi qui suis, je prendrai pour un an que vous acceptez mon aide, Albert.
A vanity purse. It
Surprise, si nous avons reçu ta lettre, tu ne manques pas de touper, de demander de l'argent après nous avoir laissé sans elle pendant toutes ces années. Voilà que tu dignes enfin pas de ta ici ni ainsi de suite. Tu as sans doute honte de nous qui ne sommes pas à la haute. En tout, devait aucun de nous jamais gagner besoin. C'est bon, ok. Plein d'indices, mais aucun exploitable. Alors, tout ça à demander, les clés à utiliser. Ah oui, je vais utiliser les clés de l'autre côté là-bas.
French wine, a remarkable vintage.
Attendez, j'arrive, il y a la petite
Champagne.
qui pleure, hein, j'arrive.
Montague Dunn had good taste. newspaper.
Coffre-fort. Ah mais je connais pas le code alors.
A photograph of Montague Dunn.
Je sais pas comment ça marche. Bon. Ah, d'accord, ok. Ok. Permettez-moi de vous témoigner ma déception à la lettre de une institution royale. Nous avons l'occasion de sillonner le monde. Dont vous, ce lien syndicat dont vous parlez n'a aucun droit de détenir des plaintes aussi précises. Avez-vous la fin du 14 juin? Ok, il y en a qui n'étaient pas contents. Monsieur, nous excusons pour la dernière fois dans tous nos échanges. Ah, le divin syndical est bien connu finalement.
I suggest that we don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document.
L'aide de Miss Margaret White envers Monsieur Montagu. Question d'une suite de soins. Je dois tout demander et je dois aller voir les archives. On va déjà demander, on ira voir les archives après.
Mr. Hamish, was someone from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
Mr. Hamish.
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together.
Du coup, à demain, mon petit Sambou.
And it was all
Merci
my
d'être resté
father's
sur le
work.
live.
But Dunn
Ça fait super plaisir.
always lived the high life.
Ma couille, merci.
So Mr. Dunn was not
Et repose-toi
helping
bien
your
pour demain.
father.
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father, so it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
There is a bust of Montague Dunn in the nursery.
A bust? Oh, that old thing. Further proof of that outrageous ego of his.
But why in that room in particular?
Oh, I don't know. It has always been there.
It is strange, because I recovered a fragment of the bust inside the Colonial Collection Room.
Really? Oh, well, so I am mistaken. It ought to have been removed during the cleanup. This room is so small.
Do you know who moved it?
I have no idea. Surely Mr. Dunn requested it. Do you have any more questions like this? Because fragments of rock are not my responsibility.
Evidently. Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Just be careful with the plants during your inspection.
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, young man. Come on, Toby. We have some work for you to do. Let us go to Kew Gardens.
Someone should take Toby for a walk. Have you found something interesting?
Oh dear, Toby. I wasn't aware that you were Watson's new literary agent. Here it is. And here is the Divine Syndicate's address. Perfect. It is time to find out what they have against Montague Dunn. If I go there, Toby will wait for me in the cab.
This place is beautiful, Holmes. Its atmosphere is remarkably soothing.
Let us find someone who could help us.
Allez, on va parler à lui et allez, prendre le bout.
Locked. A fragment of a flower pot. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here. The Kew Gardens symbol. Locked. Good day to you, sir. My name is
I am exalting the sun. A while can you wait? From the trace of elements and moreover from the quality of the ambient geotropism it depends. Therefore, please, mind my gravitropism. Its balance, do not disturb.
Disturbed is most definitely the word.
There. Completed is the symbiosis. Welcome you are. To introduce myself I shall. I am the Green Grand Mystic.
The Green Grand Mystic himself.
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
We are two gentlemen who are extremely interested in the vegetation philosophy that is advocated by this establishment.
Listening to you, I am.
Allez, 2 secondes. Pardon, désolé. Alors, on va faire ça tout de suite. Voilà, un autre portrait complet, le dernier du machin.
We should like to take a look around, to immerse ourselves in the wisdom that emanates from here.
It is a school of anastomosis, the divine scholastic syndicate for vegetation veneration and meditation. You may say, the divine syndicate. Glory to the eukaryotic. Only true devotees, those whose hearts are ready to spermatophize in sharing of knowledge, are permitted to physically enter our vegetable kingdom and its wisdom. And to be permitted, you must earn it. Yes.
Do you have friends at Kew Gardens?
None. Not worthy there.
Nevertheless, we have seen Kew Gardens flower pots in your yard. How could they happen to be there?
What? Our sacred place you permitted yourself to search? Sacrilege.
No, really now. There was a theft of plants at Kew Gardens a matter of days ago, and we believe the pots we found here may be connected with it. Please tell us, were you involved?
No. Those plants were ours. They had stolen them from us.
How so?
Their director, Dump, I believe.
Done.
Yes, that's what I said. He borrowed from us 3 of our sisters for the exhibition at his green fly-infested gardens. But he never gave them back to us. Excuses and imbecility. So we went in and saved them.
I see. So, if you stole those rare plants from them, then it means... Ah, I get it. Bravo, Holmes. I think the case is solved.
No, we did not steal. We saved. Well, as a matter of fact, we were unable to find our 3 plants.
I beg your pardon. And yet you took all of the exotic plants from the stand.
They had disappeared. It was the least we could do. They stole our sisters, and so we stole theirs.
Green Grand Mystic, we are ready to become devotees and gain access to your temple.
What is the name of our Lord, our God King?
Our God King's name is Treewan, Green Grand Mystic.
Oh la, good. I like you. Here is the holy key to the wisdom place. Holy donation can you make whenever you so wish.
Thank you so much.
I pray you to taste our fertilizer substance. From the burdens of life it helps to free.
But of course.
Raw sap, it is called. It is near the entrance.
Well, we will...
Osmosis and photosynthesis.
A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. Nothing of interest. A tropical plant. A tropical... These 3 plants are identical to the ones shown at the exhibition. I shall take them. A tropical. Caterpillars. They are raised as food for certain plants. Let's take them. This door is locked, but
Tu peux
I
tenter
can
de
try to
l'ouvrir.
open
Ouais,
it.
pas de problème, allez, on tente. Ah non. enfin. Pas trop tôt.
A vast amount of opium. These instruments are used for smoking opium. This cabinet that would be enough to perform the most difficult of chemical experiments. This cabinet is full of chemicals. They are the same as the ones we found in the laboratory at Kew Gardens. Let us take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance. Search, Toby. Search.
Allez, Toby. On va se coucher.
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found. This is the bottle that was used. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes. A tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle.
Allez, on analyse ça et on va se coucher.
Let us determine just what we have found here. Let us pour liquid from the bottle into a test tube to perform an analysis. This is a colorless, water-based liquid. Quite a strong floral aroma.
Holmes? What are you doing?
It has a bitter taste.
What if it's poisonous?
Did you ever see poison stored in enormous jars like that? Anyway, there is a doctor nearby.
So, what do you think it is?
It is some kind of organic compound. Let us vaporize the liquid and see what happens. Small colorless crystals. Colorless, tiny crystals that are soluble in water, with a floral smell and a bitter taste. Watson, could you pass me that small bottle, please?
Of course. Here you are. Holmes, do you know what it is?
Wagner's reagent. There was a label on the bottle that you passed to me.
No, Holmes, I meant the bottle that we found.
Let me add the reagent and see if there is any sediment, and then I shall tell you. Red sediment, just as I suspected. This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This mixture is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory.
Et ça, pour faire ça, il faut aller...
This substance is an alkaloid, the same as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens. Perfect, Watson. We can begin our experiment. That would be enough to perform the most difficult of chemical experiments.
Mon chocobon.
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done.
Wow.
I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask. How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism. I find the behavior of predators utterly fascinating. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. No reaction. This plant seems to have had no reaction from the It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more. I am interested in what might occur if the prickly plant should shoot at it. This plant seems to... This plant seems... This plant...
Pourquoi ça marche pas?
This plant seems... I find the behavior of... I find the behavior of...
Comment faire, putain?
How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism. I am interested in what... This plant... This plant becomes inactive after being drenched. It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
Ah, mais je sais pas ce qu'il faut faire, moi ça me gonfle.
This plant... I find the behavior of predators...
Mais ça marche pas, pourtant je me fais bien tirer dessus, pourtant. Bah voilà.
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let us investigate Kew Gardens one more time and ask some questions.
J'ai précision mortelle et usage de ventilation. Syndicat, ah bah tiens, ça fait une conclusion déjà. White a tué Dune. Ah. Ok. Albert a tué Dune. Bon allez, sur ce je vous laisse. Je vous dis bonne nuit. Voilà. Merci de m'avoir suivi, merci Sampou. Merci Randy Comics pour le raid. Ça fait super plaisir. Et puis je vous dis bonne nuit. Et à demain. Bisous bisous.